I'd like to share a few words this morning on what we might call the path of transformation. This is a path of joy, and it is a path of heart, and also it's a path in which we're growing ourselves spiritually. And what does that mean, to grow ourselves spiritually? It means to turn ourselves inward and to feel the infinity of life every moment. It means to tune ourselves. We're in a tuning process, just like these instruments. They're endlessly tuning. And we don't always have these new modern tuners that we can put on the end of our instruments and they plug them in. We don't have yet the technical. I think they're coming. There'll be some kind of
an implant.
An implant that will be a little bit, we're a little out of balance, a little tuned. We'll have biofeedback instantly in it. But we're still working with intuition. We're still working with feeling. We're working with our own sense of ourself, our own relation to our own breath, our awareness that when our breath is calm and peaceful, we're calm and peaceful. And when our breath is excited and we're excited, and we are transmitting excitement. And being aware of our breath is the first key on the path of transformation. Worship Sam would roar at us constantly, watch your breath, watch your breath, watch your breath. You go to think, watch your breath. He'd walk with people and they'd say, my knee hurts, watch your breath.
You'd say, don't watch your knee, watch your breath.
The key of watching our breath is so elemental to this path. The moment by moment familiarity with what is Spirit doing in this moment with us. We are breathing, and it's our direct connection to the divine every single moment. So we live in the world, we learn to engage. There's a reason for dunya. We have homes to sustain. We have families to feed. We have work to do. All this is precious. At the foundation of everything that we do is our place in the universe, our place in humanity, our place in the caravan of awakening. We forget that because we become very identified with what we're doing, and that's natural and that's very human. The path of transformation is the path that reminds us to keep our antennas tuned to the infinite. There's a beautiful photograph of Murshid Sam. It's now on the cover of this book, Murshid, by Mansour Johnson. He took the photograph. Murshid Sam is driving with Saul and Mansour. He's going up to Mount Shasta, and it's in the north of California. And suddenly he shouts. I've heard Saul tell the story. He sort of shouts up, "Stop the car! Stop the car!" They stopped the car, and Saul and Mansour and Saul's dog Wuda and Murshid pile out of the car, and Murshid says to them, "Take my picture." And he stands there, and Mansour, loyal, took the photograph, and it's an incredible photograph because has a train coming behind him. His tracks. There's Mount Shasta and the train, and it's just an amazing photograph.
This is its time.
Yeah. Murshid Sam, more than anyone I've had the privilege of knowing in this lifetime, had the realization of his own place in the caravan, in the unfolding of spirit. He had a realization of the gifts that were entrusted to him. He had a realization that he was a minister to his flock, who were a bunch of wild-eyed, idealistic searchers and seekers who, by the grace of God, landed in this container of a really trained and wise elder who had been preparing and preparing and preparing for this time in his life. His life, in many external ways, didn't fruit a lot in earlier periods. He had done all this work, all this inner work, and he writes, some of you have probably read in The Garden, he says, I planted seeds in my 20s and nothing came up. And I planted seeds in my 30s. Nothing came up. I keep planting, and I planted seeds in my 40s. Nothing came up. I planted seeds later in my 50s. Lots of seeds. And nothing came up. And as he's telling the story, he's in his late 60s or early 70s, he says, and now, in this era of my life, everything I plant is coming up. It's coming up everywhere. Not only is what I'm planting now coming up everywhere, but everything I planted in the last era and the year before that and the era before that, they're all coming up. Everything's coming up all at once. I don't know what to do. I say to God, what can I do? I can't harvest all this. And he hears the voice. God says to him, harvest what you can and leave the rest to me. So he had a realization of his place in the unfoldment of humanity in the West. It's an extraordinary stance to have in one's life, to recognize the blessing of what teachings he had received of his own Dharma transmission, his own Sufi transmission, his own Hindu transmission, his own Christian transmission, his own Kabbalah transmission. It was all in him. And he offered it to us as part of our training. Each of us stands in the caravan with our place, with a sense of mission, with a sense of purpose. When we have no sense of purpose, we sort of crumple. We're not fully alive. When we have some realization of what is ours to do, what was entrusted to us, what was given to us to do, we're clear. And we do it the best we can in this time-limited assignment. And what one person has to do as their purpose may not look anything like someone else is to do. Murshid Sam was a very unique being. He was a oneer. There's no two like him. He was a very, very rare kind of a being. It's not any of our mission to be like him, although we may draw inspiration from feeling him and his guidance. He's living in the dances. The dances are alive and well around the world. He said, these dances will go all around the world. He said this from this little basement in his house in San Francisco with a rug with had oil stain on it, and there were 20 of us dancing. He said, "These dances will go all around the world." And we humored him. But he saw what power they have to unite people, to bring people together, to respect all the different languages, all the different cultures, to respect all the different sacred paths, that these dances are a natural and living container for this kind of respect for our place in humanity. This dance we did, the Gate Gate, Paragate. Halima and I were in Russia last year, and we learned it from a woman in Russia. And then we loved it as a beautiful practice, but it kind of slipped in the back of our consciousness as things do. And last week we had a gathering in Boston, and a woman came to be with us who's from Colombia in South America, although she's been living in the United States, and she's kind of part of our Sangha. And she had just come back from Colombia, and we asked her to lead a dance. She's a very lovely dance leader, and she led this dance. and I'm wrestling in my mind. She lives in Colombia. Now this thing, whoa! How does it get around? And then I remembered that there was a dance teacher in Colombia that had been to Russia and had caught it, I'm sure, from somebody there, and it brought it there. And this is how it is. We're in this planetary exchange. We are offering our gifts to each other in so many ways. And it's very precious. There was a time in the history of our lineage, and in America in general, I think, where spirituality was viewed as a path kind of from here up. And we were taught to get high. And we did. And for many of us, the unattended themes from the fullness of our embodied lives began to bite at us from lower chakras and from unaddressed and material that was unrecognized because we were kind of here and up.
And lovers of leaving.
Yeah.
Not returning.
Yeah, and that too.
Oh, problem here?
And I'm so grateful that the tide has turned. And here we have a book that's just come out, this magnificent book, Physicians of the Heart, that Wali Ali and Shabda, with help from others, worked on for 9-10 years as an offering. And there are tremendous spiritual teachings around the sacred phrases in this book, but it's very, very couched in the construct of transformation, psychological transformation, healing of our nafs, healing of our stuck places, healing of our bad habits. It doesn't take the bypass route. It gives us a set of tools to go, right in and through This is a great gift. I hope there'll be an opportunity during the course of the retreat for more exchange, for people to ask questions, for there to be dialogue. Together we have...
Well, there will be.
There will be.
We can make our hopes come true.
From our hopes to God's ears.
This afternoon, so we're going to take a break for lunch, and we have to nurture ourselves on all levels. Also to take a rest if you need a rest. And we're going to reconvene at it's 12:30 now. We'll reconvene at 2:30 here. And this afternoon, I'll give you a little bit of a. We'll do some dances, again, the dances and all the practices that we're doing they're really embodiment of anything that we have to say about it. So we're trying to share a wide palette of ways to know yourself. And I'm going to share a little bit from a paper that Monadine, who was in the lineage, this is handed on like this, hand to hand, heart to heart. And so when Murshid Sam passed, he passed the lineage into the caretaking of Monadine, who passed it on to Shabda now as kind of the rudder on our boat with this lineage. But Monadine wrote a paper called Illuminating the Shadow. So, we have this notion, we've all got it, it comes with the human, being in the body, and it's part of our humanity. We want to cultivate our humanity. And so getting to, find ways to love ourselves wholly, to know ourselves wholly is holy. And so we'll explore some of that in a holy way. Holy. And so that's some of the, direction that is showing, kind of drawing me anyway this afternoon.
Let's close this morning's gathering by sending out whatever merit there is to our practice, sending it far and wide to all beings. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy.
Should we do a collective grace? So, you got one? Somebody have a
Now the sustainer of our bodies, hearts, and souls, bless all that we receive in thankfulness. Amen. Amen. O thou the sustainer of our bodies, hearts, and souls, bless all.